back to the Tennessee game, a Titans team that was resting so many of its starters. But Dak turns the ball over 3 times, a season high. He threw multiple picks for the 5th time this season. The struggles continued the following week against the Commanders. What the actual heck was this? A 37.8% completions, threw a pick 6, 7 straight games with a pick. Was it going to end in round 1 of the playoffs? No, it was not, because Dak was every bit as sensational as he had been struggling. He became just the 5th player ever to throw 4 touchdowns and rush for another in a playoff game. Dak's performance on Monday night left him with a QBR of 96.5. That is the best by any quarterback in a road playoff game since we invented the metric in 2006, breaking a record previously held by Aaron Rodgers. And oh, by the way, we're going to get to him a little bit later, too. But let's start with the operative question. Damian Woody, if we get that Dak Prescott, is this Cowboys team going to the Super Bowl?
They're going to be tough to beat, Greeny. They're going to be tough to beat because the way Dak – listen, first of all, anytime an athlete talk about I don't hear the noise, that's BS. That's BS. Listen, as a former athlete, you hear everything. Okay? Dak can't tell me that he didn't hear all the noise. What's wrong with Dak? Why he can't stop turn the ball over? What's going on with all the interceptions? You don't think Dak Prescott didn't hear all that noise and said, you know what? I got something for Greeny. I got something for Stephen A. I got something for everybody in this game. And he went out there and showed and played his behind off.
One of those people was Chris Canty. And I said this yesterday, Chris. I don't apologize for a word that we said over the last month because it was accurate. He is a very good player who was playing badly. Now he's a very good player who played great on Monday night. Is that good enough to get the Cowboys to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, if Dak plays the way he played against the Tampa Bay Bucs, the Dallas Cowboys can make it a 4th quarter game against anybody remaining in the playoff field. Now, we saw him play his best game as a pro on Monday night. I think he was great with the off-schedule plays. We saw Dak scramble, which is something that he really hasn't done since the ankle injury. He had 3 scrambles, 2 of those for first downs, 1 for a touchdown. But the thing that stood out to me, Greeny, was how good Dak was in situational football, 3rd downs, but particularly in the red zone. 4 for 4, 37 yards, and 3 touchdowns. If Dak Prescott can play like that, then I think you have to say you trust him more than any other quarterback in the NFC playoff field.
Let's say that again. Trust him more than any other quarterback in the NFC playoff field. The AFC is loaded. The NFC, all the question marks at the QB position. What was the family group chat like after that game Monday night?
Well, the noise was coming from everywhere, even from within. Like Jerry Jones was also complaining about his turnovers. And Monday, he was in command. It looked like Peyton Manning, the way that he was operating from the pocket. He was picking this defense apart. It was such that it looked like he knew what the defense was doing before the defense could even do it. He was prepared for everything, and that's all about the mentality. And you pair that mentality with the accuracy that he showed that game, and with the athleticism that he broke out. They ran a damn speed option. I know Dak had it in him. They were pulling all the tricks out. It was fun.
Kmart, the narrative, I think, is such a fascinating one here because the Cowboys are always the center of so much attention. What is the narrative around the league right now on Dak and the Cowboys going to San Francisco?
Well, first of all, that was the Dak everybody expected to see. That's the Dak that everybody was waiting to see. And a playoff game of that magnitude for him to step up was huge. Now, the Cowboys are a team to beat, correct? But they also are going to Santa Clara to face the 49ers. Like, I don't want to be that person that's going to rain on Dak's parade.
But you're doing it.
Yeah, it's happening.
Rain on Rain's parade.
Because I hate the fact that even Tom Brady, his future sort of overshadows the Dak and the Cowboys of it all. But going to Santa Clara, it's not just about Dak. Like, if Dak plays well, they have a chance to go to the Super Bowl for sure. But will that defense be able to contain Christian McCaffrey, a guy who, when you talk to people in the 49ers organization, said, we had a stacked roster. But getting CMC, that was the game changer for us. Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, like that entire roster, it's not just about Dak playing well. It's about his defense, and it's about their special teams coming through.
Of course. Look, it's no one's suggesting it's going to be easy in San Francisco, but the bottom line of it is we were looking at a team that might have gotten bumped out of the playoffs in round 1 against a bad Tampa team, and instead the quarterback played great. And I thought Chris made an interesting point, and someone said it here yesterday. In the playoffs, we see Patrick Mahomes run a lot more. During the regular season, he holds that at abeyance because he's smart. He's not going to take a chance on getting hurt. Playoffs, you sort of let that go. Dak used his legs a lot more and a lot more effectively Monday and reminded us all how good he is at that.
Man, I've been begging and pleading for I don't know how long for Dak to use his leg because it truly is a weapon for the Dallas Cowboys, and you saw it on Monday night. Like you said, Domonique, we saw Dak run the speed option. Like that to me, once I saw that, I'm like, it's game over. Like, it's game over when you see stuff like that.
Because, Domonique, I've been begging you to talk to him and Tad about doing some more of this, and I get it. This was a season high in rush attempts for Dak Prescott, and maybe they're smarter than I am. Yeah. You don't take a chance on that with a quarterback with injury history and whatever it is during the regular season. But now, when it's a one-game season, he does that so much better than people realize.
Of all people, I would think you would understand this because you're calling for Josh Allen to run less.
Right.
But you know when it's game time and the plays need to be made, you make those plays. And you think back over football history, I think we talk about the current guys and their athleticism now as if it's a new thing. It's not new. Like the drive from John Elway was largely made up because of his athleticism, making extra things happen. It's always been an important, intricate part to quarterback play, and Dak Prescott has that ability, and as long as he has it, it's an extra weapon. Third downs, there's nothing more demoralizing as a defensive back than covering so well that there's nowhere to throw the ball, and then he just scoots out for 6 yards. First down, we doing this again.
Especially against this outstanding defense that Kmart is talking about, I feel like that is a big part of the attack.
There's no question about it. I mean, Dak Prescott played his best game as a pro on Monday night. He's going to have to play even better than that on this weekend if he's going to pull off the upset in Santa Clara, because he's going up against a defense that has 3 first-team All-Pros on 3 different levels of that unit. The last time we saw that, Greeny, in the last 20 years was the San Francisco 49ers in 2012. And that team was 5 yards away from winning the Super Bowl. So that's what he's going up against, a defense that's tops when it comes to defensive efficiency, EPA, turnover margin, and points per game. Dak Prescott has got a tall task ahead of him in terms of being able to peel this off and win that game.
Go ahead.
I mean, you read all that stuff off. And
Numbers.
Get them numbers. Yeah, you read all that stuff off.
What's up, Preacher?
Come on,
Listen,
Bishop.
I could have sworn like a couple of weeks ago I saw Jarrett Stidham run through that defense well.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't think I'm just being real. You don't think Dak Prescott can do the same thing? If Dak Prescott plays the way he played on Monday night, you don't think he can get that
Preacher, can I rebuff what you just said? Yeah. How did that game end? An interception, right? Yeah. Who forced that interception? Nicky Bosa, first team All-Pro. Like, all I'm simply saying is this defense is so disruptive, it keeps you off schedule as an offense. Dak Prescott is going to have to play above the X's and O's that Kellen Moore dials up if they're going to have a chance at being able to sustain drives. That's going to be key.
Yes, but here's the encouraging thing. You talked about narrative earlier.
Yeah.
With Dak Prescott, over the last few weeks, he's been discussed as the liability with this Cowboys team. We saw him be the reason that they won a game. That's what you want from Josh Allen, from Joe Burrow to Patrick Mahomes. Dak, he showed that, no, I can take this team and put them over the top.
And I said something else about the narrative. Like, for all San Francisco, hottest team in the NFC, no question, people think that they're just a juggernaut. The reality is they have the softest schedule in the league. Vegas only opened them as a 4-point favorite at home in a game in which they have a huge rest advantage. That's another storyline here, D. Wood, that the San Francisco 49ers have an extra day of rest. They go Saturday to Sunday. The Cowboys, of course, have a day fewer. They go Monday to Sunday. Cindy, let's play Mike McCarthy. Here's his take on the disadvantage of rest.
I think it's going to serve us well. We'll have less sleep and we'll be grumpy, so we'll be fine. TV is king. I mean, what are you going to say? It's not concerned. We got plenty of time to get ready, so we're not stressed about it at all.
They're not stressed about it. But teams that are in this situation, 5 days rest versus 7 or more days rest, are 9-24 all-time in road playoff games. Worth pointing out, the majority of those are going to be teams that had byes, and thus they would be much higher seeded. It's not a perfect stat, but it is what it is. D. Wood, how concerned are you about the advantage the Niners have in rest?
Rennie, I'm not concerned about all of this. Y'all want to read off numbers and stats and all this type of stuff. Man, let me tell you something here. Okay, we are in the postseason. This is the divisional round, the best weekend in football. I don't give a damn about short weeks, long weeks, any type of week at this point. At this point in the season, I don't need to see my family. I don't need to see anybody.
Crazy.
All I care about is going out here
Amen.
and trying to win a game and get closer to the chip. Because at the end of the day,
Hallelujah.
it's about the chip. It's not about one less
God is
day.
good.
It's about the chip. I can deal with the consequences after the season. Period.
Woo, Lord, man, make me want to play right now. I want to fight somebody in the street for D Wood.
Right? We are ready for the postseason, the Cowboys and the Niners. And coming up a little later this hour, we will show you some of the great historical moments between these two because they define the history of the NFL. So do the Eagles, and Jalen Hurts' shoulder might define what happens the rest of the way. His opponent